Well, last week we had a presidential election, and Donald Trump won in kind of what many considered an upset. And what we wanted to look at here is what a Trump presidency will mean for America's public schools. There's a lot we won't know about this. Trump didn't say a lot about education during his campaign speeches. The one area that he did talk about was the idea of increasing choice in schools, and he talked about putting out a $20 billion grant program to encourage charter schools, vouchers, magnet schools, that kind of thing. So we may see something along that line. We also had some information given at different points to think that the Trump administration would diminish the role of the Department of Education. The Department of Education's got a little more powerful over time, but he thinks that a lot of that ought to be decreased. There are concerns that maybe some of the civil rights issues may not be pursued quite as passionately as it has been in the past. We've had a lot of issues over the past few years in which civil litigation has taken place based upon, sexual assault at colleges, Title IX issues, things like that. And the thought is that a Trump administration may reduce some of that. And we're also looking at the idea that Trump has said that he'd like to increase the idea of entrepreneurship, increase the idea of problem solving in education. And they have here, and this is a Washington Post article, that he would do so in part by serving as a partner, not so much as a dictator within school districts and states. And the other thing is that Donald Trump has talked at several points about getting rid of Common Core state standards. That's not something we worry about here in Texas. We have stayed away from the Common Core state standards because federal law does forbid the federal government from interfering with states' decisions about these academic standards. Our standards are the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, and so this doesn't really do anything with us. And anyway, the president of the Thomas Fordham Institute talks about the thought that many states are going to roll back a lot of the Common Core issues anyway. And the one thing that we don't really know anything about is whether or not Donald Trump is going to do anything with early childhood, K-12 education, anything like that. And a lot of these issues are not going to be a top priority, and it'll be something that may occur later on down the road. And it still remains to be seen exactly how he feels about the accountability measures that we have in our schools and different things like that. And certainly at UT Tyler, we want to be a part of any things that you have going on. Take a look at our book, Proficient to Distinguish, Mastering the T-Test, and remember, inspire and educate, be architects for human potential.